how many of you have started feeling in the recent years like the world has changed so much, and it feels like it's kind of so much harder to keep the inner peace and stability at times like this when so much is happening, so much of conflict, so much of chaos. And there's like more of this dark energy present. Like every time we elevate, we level up, there's also more chaos, there's also more disorder, more things in which we can find reasons to not be okay. So in my life, I'm constantly upgrading my values and constantly making these check-ins, like how am I doing and how am I feeling. And I've just designed a whole new list of certain habits, certain values, certain activities I can focus on to have myself in check so I can live I call it a very purposeful life, and I can do what's meaningful for me, and I can generate the energy that's constructive and positive also for the world around me, so my relationships can be good and deep and honest, and I can really embody what I choose to embody, the vision I see for myself. So I want to share this with you as well, because I know so many of you are having hard times right now because so much is happening, and I know it's not easy to kind of flow through everything that's going on in the world with so much of distraction like never before. All the social media, all different type of social media, all the new type of content that has its own agenda in it. And, you know, all these shorts and viral concepts and all of that. So I want to give you a message that will not just prepare you, like prepare your vessel, prepare yourself physically, mentally, energetically, but it will change you. It will change you in many ways. And some of them are very new concepts or something you haven't heard before. And some of these things you have heard before. But if you're like me, like I need to constantly keep getting back to something I've already heard, to ask myself, am I really living that? Am I really embodying that? Am I really practicing this? Or, you know, you just know but not do anything about it. I need to keep reminding myself to, you know, to live in my values. So some time ago, I've read this saying that completely resonates with me, and let me know if it resonates with you as well. Check yourself in the comments if this resonates. Reactive people are driven by feelings, circumstances, conditions, and their environment. Proactive people, on the other hand, are driven by values, carefully thought about, selected, and internalized values. Proactive people are still influenced by external stimuli, whether physical, social, or psychological. However, the response to these stimuli, whether conscious or unconscious, is a value-based choice or response. And this resonates with me so much because, you know, you can say, oh, a lot of dark stuff is happening in the world, and it's true. You can be sad because of that, or you can still, you know, reflect on it. Okay, if my value is, for example, honesty and peace and generosity, then can I look at these wars and conflicts and dark agendas and everything that's happening as something to be affected by from a standpoint of a healer, or from a standpoint of a philosopher or a leader? And can I make sure that certain people who are suffering because of that, maybe psychologically or spiritually? Can I help them in some way? Have I found a help within me that, was a food for my inner stability that I could share with someone else? Could I offer a hug to someone? Could I offer a support to someone? You see, this is a proactive approach to any dark situation, and it changes us because we start thinking more deeply about what can be my part in this process, what can be my part in this activity, in this happening. And it really shifts us from being just reactors to what's happening to become more of, to notice our interconnectedness with it. Will we still judge situations as good and bad, or will we notice that we are connected to them? And as we start healing ourselves, so we stop reacting too much or so much to everything that's going on, we heal ourselves and we become more objective observers when it's necessary. So we can notice, okay, yes, because of all of that, many people are suffering. So can I heal myself to such a degree that I can actually provide something healthy to others as well? Like, can I stretch my energy onto others? Can I notice that I am a part of all of this? And can I notice what could I offer to others? So in this case, you need to learn to unplug from the fast-paced social unconsciousness, which is like a whole social spirit that is, many times it just feels like it's moving people all around. Like people are just unconsciously moving around, like they would be dancing in the spirit of chaos, not really knowing what they are doing. And it's not like judging them, it's just observing what's going on. And sometimes we really need to just sit down and observe the movement. And if you're like me, that you love to sit down and sometimes just observe people and observe nature and just look at everything that's going on, you may recognize, oh, this truly is like a wind. Like so many people are really like just floating around. And this reminds you how easily we can be controlled by the outside forces if we don't make these inner checks and remind ourselves of what truly matters, which get us back to our values and goals and inspirations, aspirations. Like, am I really living my life the way I chose, or am I constantly just being pulled around because so much is happening and because I have no control over the use of technology and social media and even your mind, maybe? Like how to think more constructively and how to cleanse your mind and overthinking, so you can also quit procrastination and all these other habits that don't allow you to build a life you would love to build. So unplug from the fast-paced social unconsciousness here and there, and just sit down and observe. Like, observe the movement of nature, observe the movement of your body, the breathing, your heartbeat, the frequency of your nervous system, how everything is functioning, how your body is functioning completely automatically, and you don't need to do anything about it. The world around you is functioning, nature works, everything is kinda active. And here and there, if you become an observer of all of that, you notice you are a part of it, but you can also distance yourself a little bit from it, so you remind yourself what truly matters, so you don't get lost in chaos. A very beautiful but also powerful practice. Then The second habit, very important, is achievement of mental clarity. So you can only focus on the things that matter to you if you're mentally clear, right? So learn to arrange your tasks. Whatever you have to do, you don't need to keep it in your mind. Like, we all have so many things to do, but if we keep all these things in our minds, it may become overwhelming. And then at the same time, you may be reading other things on social media, or you can be watching something and you can be communicating with others, and you have things to do at your job and something with your family, and it becomes quite overwhelming. So you have tools, you have a piece of paper, you have a pencil, and you can write down your tasks, you can write down your to-do lists, and you can prioritize all of that and bring some order into your life, especially into your mind. Like, not many people are teaching us how to use our mind. So you kind of need to become a coach for your mind. Like, look, this is what we'll do today, and this is what we'll do tomorrow, and these are the things that matter to me, and these are my values, and these are the qualities I want to work on, and just make a list of all of that. And to all of you who have like many worries in your mind or many negative thoughts, also write them down. So you can organize it a little bit. Notice, oh, these are my worries. This is what I'm worrying about. Could I actually took time in my day just for worrying, for a constructive thinking about how to resolve this issue, how to solve this problem or this challenge? This is like constructive worrying. You can plan worrying, actually, where worrying becomes a solution-focused thinking, which is a different approach than just keeping it in your mind. And it changed so much in my life, because that's how you prepare your vessel to actually deal with life and build a new life. And it is just very, very helpful. And if you set some realistic expectations, in other words, a vision for your future. Again, if you write it down, you're now organizing your thoughts about your future. Like, what could you create and who you can become, and into what this challenge could turn into. If you imagine more of this quantum concept of reality, which means that when energy slows down, it materializes. So all particles are just slow down energy waves. So basically the reality you're experiencing is just one potential in the quantum field of infinite realities that has slowed down because you're observing it, because you're experiencing it. So basically your reality is a memory. Everything that's familiar to you, everything that you know is in this reality box. But it means that there are infinite different possibilities. And firstly, you need to start thinking about them. You need to start, really mentally exploring them, exploring possibilities. And that's how you start tapping into the field of potentials. When you start asking yourself, how would it feel like? How would it feel if your life would be without this problem that you have right now, without this challenge that you have right now? Now you're tapping into that other version of yourself, somewhere in the quantum field of possibilities. This is one very powerful concept that can help you to manifest changes if you use it and think about it for a moment. Like, how much differently you would live your life if you would not be so attached to no one, and you would actually give more of yourself to your creative power, like creative thinking, and trust that you can actually manifest changes if you start thinking more about the possibilities. And you really dive deeper into practical steps, how to make it happen. Like, start asking bigger questions. How can I resolve this? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? who I need to become, what habits I need to adopt, what do I need to change, and just see how answers start finding you. This is the interconnectedness. You're not separated. You are the universe. You are the particle of God. So even though you've manifested who you are right now and the reality you live, you're still connected with all other realities, all other potential realities that are guiding you. So that other version of yourself starts guiding you towards your new self. Every time you think about possibilities and every time you ask deeper questions about how to resolve this, what you need to learn, and who you need to become. So really take time with that. And it will bring you a lot of mental clarity and a lot of sometimes even mystical answers that will find you out. Sometimes it seems like out of nowhere. And then the next reminder is to let your values give you a sense of purpose. Many times, I know many of you are wondering, what is my purpose? Is this my purpose? Sometimes people start doing something new and they're like, is this my purpose? Or they start a new business and they are not sure. Should they really keep going with it because they're not sure if that is their purpose? You see, the only way to find it out is really to make some goals with it and bring it to the finish line. Like, just accomplish these goals with that certain activity or business or anything, and then you will see if it's purposeful and if it helps others and if it provides certain valuable insights or resources or whatever to people, and you will know. But notice that what truly gives you a sense of purpose are values. Like, what are you valuing? And when you have clear values, are you living them? Are you embodying them? Because, for example, when you value honesty, every time when you're interacting with others, if you are honest with them, and even if you're honest with yourself, you will feel like you're living a purposeful life because you're standing up for something. You're living for something. You are an example of something. And it gives you a sense of purpose. And because it's so rare, many people will actually come to you and ask you, what makes you so different? Like, there's something different about you. And it may actually turn out into a whole new mission. Like, maybe you start teaching others, or you start writing about it, or you start, a blog, or start making videos, or you start writing a book, or you start a company that just provides greater quality of any product because you have values. Like, you see, in society, in this matrix system, most products are destructive. Most food industries are producing what we call food that has almost no nutrition in it, because they don't have clear values. They have values that are not maybe in coherence with elevation of health, but just financial resources or whatever it is. And when you clarify your values, you can actually build something very, very helpful out of your life, also for society. And that is something that you should remind yourself of frequently. Like, am I living according to my values? Am I clear about my values? And if I feel chaotic right now, it's most probably because there's something I'm doing against me. There's something I'm doing against my values. So reflect on this a little bit, and you will notice that there's so much more you could do. There's so much more you could maybe just notice, like, what's out of coherence. And to avoid a sense of disconnect, sometimes when we know exactly what we need to do or what we want to do, but we do something completely differently, it awakens within us a sense of disconnection, distrust. We stop trusting ourselves because we're doing things that are actually against our will or against our intentions. We set for ourselves, oh, I will be working out every single day, or I will be eating healthy every single day, and then we do just the opposite of that. It brings a sense of disconnection because we know what's good for us, we know what will benefit our health, but we don't do it. And then people think there's something wrong with me because I'm doing that, but it's actually just a lack of awareness. Like, every time you make a decision, from what standpoint you're making a decision? Like, isn't the whole point here to make conscious decisions? Because every time you make a conscious decision, you know why you're doing something. And if you know why you're doing it, then you will also be aware of the consequences and results. And how many times you need to burn yourself so you notice that maybe you should just stop repeating this, right? It's just a reminder, okay, if I don't want to feel disconnected, I need to be more connected with my values, with my activities and my choices. And that is in your power, that is in your control. When you focus on that, like, you can't focus, you can't control how other people are treating you. But the way you respond to them, honesty you project, and truthfulness you project, and curiosity, finding other people interesting, it's all in your power. And it's actually a very powerful approach you can use every single day. So think about this for a moment. How many times you actually lose this sense of connection just because you fall into the unconscious? Maybe because you're avoiding something. Or maybe because it's just unpleasant to have this deep conversation to resolve something. You rather go unconscious and you just react. And you start a fight and the ego wants to win, so who wins, right? Every time ego wins, someone has lost. And actually maybe it's you, your soul, right? So just remember that. And then make sure that you have all these pillars of good sleep, good nutrition, mindfulness, and spirituality in check every single day. Like, if you're eating well, if you are balancing your sleeping cycles, like going to sleep at the similar time every single day, waking up at a similar time every single day, making sure that the place where you're sleeping is pleasant, dark, and all of that, it just changes so much. Like, I'm a whole another person when I have a good sleep, and therefore I've managed my life the way that I'm sleeping better. And it's just something you need to research a little bit and, make sure that you take care of this. A nutritious diet, like if you research yourself a little bit what kind of food you need, what kind of food is good for you, and then disciplining yourself a little bit around this so you stay healthy. And good food is good mood, right? So make sure that you have these things in check, and it will help you, to thrive in these times. And mindfulness, like making sure you're not too overwhelmed by all the activities around you. Find your inner peace. Every single day, tap into your inner peace. How you start your day, how you end your day, it's all in your power. Do you have certain routines every single morning, every single, before bed routines? Some gratitude, some journaling, some prayer, some connection with God or universe, creator, source, whatever. Just keeping up this connection. A reminder to stay humble and to notice that, well, you don't know much, or you will never know everything. There is a mystery to everything, and maybe sometimes when we don't know what to do, that mysterious force can guide you or can give you a sense of support. So always open up your heart when you finish your day, when you start your day. Open up your heart and ask for guidance. So everything that's unclear can eventually become clear to you. That's how you cultivate a spiritual health. And really unplug from all this social nonsense ideology and everything that's going on around in society, and actually find this truthful connection within you. And notice that there is sanity in quietness, and there is tranquility in this connection, in inner peace. When you have this in check, well, you will feel very, very good. And when you feel good, you walk differently. Your body posture will reflect that. Your facial expression will reflect that. And everybody will say to you, hey, you look younger. What happened to you? But you know exactly what happened to you. You've built some discipline in your life. You found some connection in your life. And you've organized your mind in your life. And therefore your life started changing. You've prepared your vessel. And you became a new you. A different you. That is a powerful shift. And another thing I want to remind you, it will be the last one, so this video will not be too long. It's life-changing. I've learned this when I've started coaching people. A very powerful quality that was not so familiar to me before, which is become a good listener. Avoid interrupting others. Be a listener. Because, you know, so many times we want to give an advice when someone opens up to us. But, you know, I've learned in my life that most of the time when people open up to us, they don't open up because they want to hear an advice from us. They open up because they need someone to listen to them. And when you recognize that, you actually shut up and listen. And when you truly listen, a sense of empathy awakens within you. And suddenly you don't need to say anything to that person. Usually, you will feel like you just want to hug them. Or you just want to feel them. And that's what we need. We need feeling, right? We need connectedness. Because in this super fast-paced world, there's so many advices. Like you go on the internet and everyone is smart. Everyone has something to say. So, you know, for people who are curious, they already know what they need to do. But it's so much, you know, it's different when you actually just have someone that listens to you without a need to say something back. Just to listen to you, to feel you, to understand you, and to see that, well, sometimes it's all that was needed, just to pour something out to someone who understands. And you will notice, actually, the greatest cause for people to constantly complain and to burst out of anger and all of that is because they have no one to listen. Because basically, when we open up and express something so openly and honestly, at the same time, we come across answers. Isn't that so? So we become our own healers. But we never do it alone. Like you can't talk to a wall. It's just different when you talk to someone. So put yourself into that other position and be a good listener. Be a good listener. You don't always need to help others, like the way that you give an advice to them. Sometimes it's enough just to listen to them and to not interrupt them. And that is a really powerful quality that many people will appreciate. But also you will notice that something magical happened there. But at the same time, maybe it starts reflecting back to you when you will need someone to listen. that person will appear. So give it a try. My friend, I hope you found a great value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in today's artwork. And to anyone who would love to support my art, you can find all of it on AttractPassion.com. And I Draw My Passion on Etsy store, where you can find the prints of my art in different sizes, whatever you prefer. Some of the original paintings, some guided meditations, and so much more. Go and check it out. And thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content. You're all truly appreciated. And to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one, I'm offering coaching as well, so you can book a session on the link in the description of this video. Have a good day, my friends. Until next time, one love.